My name is Dennis Ankara, and I'm presenting on how to add rows, update columns, and delete columns in a data grid view. So here in our form, we have the ID, label, and the text inbox, first name, last name, age, and we have the add button, update button, delete button, and we have the data grid view. So here we go to the code. We declare the table and index in the public domain so that it can be used in every sub private. We add columns to the table. That's table.columns.add. This one is manually adding uh, inputs, and we'll go ahead and add rows to it. And then for the second one, for the adding using the add button, we declare an integer, the first name, last name, age, whereby it will take input from the user and add it to the table. That's table.rows add first name, ID, last name, age. And this if statement, it checks if the when you're about to click on update, it checks if there is a selected cell. If there is a selected cell before the update will work. And now for the updates, we declare a new data row as data grid view row, and by combine it with data grid view one row and each index. So the cells value text, cell one zero text, cell one first name, cell two last name, cell three age. And then for the delete button, this we use the if statement. So if data grid view one current cell is not nothing, then row as an integer data grid view dot current cell dot row index. So it's this will remove the data grid view one dot rows dot remove at is the action that will remove the available row. So we'll indicate the row. So that's the row index to delete. That's the clicked row. So you go to the code, we run it. So we go to add, enter ID, next name, first name, last name, then age. So we can see it has been updated in the table. That's the last row. So we have to click before we can use the update button. We have to click on a particular cell. That's a row. Then when we click on it, sorry, we have to click on the first name. So that's we click on the first name column. So that's so if you click on it, it will display the result, like the elements in that particular cell. So from there we can change the ID to 90, then the first name to Kofi, last name Ankoma. Then we can maintain the age. Then we go to click on update. So we can see from there it has changed the index and the first name and the last name also, and the age has been maintained. So we can change the name also. So when we click on another cell and we click on delete, it has deleted that particular row. So we click on the first index, the first ID, sorry, we delete, it has been deleted. Thank you. Okay, so the next one is we will manually input the data into the table, and now we'll try to retrieve it or display the data in which it's in the table. So here is the form. We have our data grid, in which if we click on it, it will display back the full details of the cell. So now here we declare a table in the public, manually add columns, manually add rows, and then here we use the if statement to check that a valid row was clicked, that the row index must be 0 or greater than 0. So here We would declare a select row variable, and then we bind it to the data grid view one dot rows e dot row index. And I will declare ID, first name, last name, and age, and we'll select row dot using the cells, and the value should be strings. And now for the display of data in the pop-up box, we use the input box. So when you click on a particular cell, it will give us a pop-up indicating the details in which is in the cell. So we go to run the code, and we'll check. So now here is the data manually inputted. We click on a cell, so it displays the ID, that's one, then the name, the first name, and the second last name, and the age. So we are done. So from this one, to display a list of users and allow the user to add a new or update existing ones using a different method. So as we all declare a variable, add the columns and the rows manually, then we'll have our update button. It will check if the row is actually selected. So we use the if statement for this one. If it's not, and then message box should please select a row to update. So now get the index and the row object directly from the data grid current selection if you want to use the update button. So here is the code. Then select as integer current row index, and the as row data grid view dot row select row index. Now declare our ID for the input box, the first name input box, the last name input box, and the age input box. And now we insert each data received into a cell, and the integer dot pass will convert the text. Since we are using a text box, it will convert the text into an integer so that it will be displayed. And then we'll go to the add button, the same procedure. Declare an a variable and add. So declared ID, add ID dot integer dot pass input box, will enter ID, and we'll add the table rows to the ID that insert the data from the main database. So now we'll run the code, and we'll see how it works. So here's the manually inputted data. So we'll click on add. So ID, enter ID, first name, last name, age. So to add a new data into the data table. So now for updates, we'll click on a particular cell, click on update. So you can see the ID is 6. If you want to change the ID, you can change it to 90. Next, then the name is already displaying. You want to change the name and make necessary corrections. So we change the name, first name, we change the last name, then maybe we'll maintain the age if we don't want to change it, or let's change the age to 30. Then we can see that it has been updated from the table.